New World's play numbers are going down, and it got me wondering just how low are they actually going to go. If you want to support me and help me grow the channel, becoming a YouTube member is the best way. Otherwise, come and give me a follow over on Twitch. Okay, so here we are. Let's jump into these numbers and talk about what they actually mean and how bad is it going to get for New World in the next coming months, right? So the graph here, we're looking from when it was launched. Obviously, we had the massive launch. It doesn't really feel fair to include that because it was obviously huge, but if we start including it from maybe like January, March, we can sort of see the numbers, right? And we've said this every time that we do this kind of video, you can tell why the numbers did what they did. We had the massive launch and then they dipped down, and then around about August we had the Summer Medley Fur Patch. Then obviously at the end of August we had the Brimstone hype. That's when it got announced, basically, well, got revealed. That high continued, then it dips down before the actual release of Brimstone because, you know, everybody knew what was coming. But then on October 18th, I think it actually was, we got Brimstone Sands, and that gave a little bump. But just consider how little that bump actually is, right? And how quickly that bump went away. When you consider it from August to there, yeah, it's a decent number size difference, right? But really the true bump in numbers was the fresh start servers, and that absolutely like catapulted the game up, basically going double in play numbers essentially. And then what naturally happens when we don't get massive content, which we're not going to get all the time because that's not really practical and feasible, is that the play numbers started to drop, and they were going down and down and down. And I was looking at this on a stream last week, and I was looking at it, I think maybe from like around about this point, and what I thought was, hey, you can see that the number was going down, but it appeared to be like evening off, right? Like if you take an average there, it looked like it was just about straightening up, and I was like, hey, we're gonna do quite well here. There's no massive drop. However, just in the last couple of weeks, it does seem like the play numbers are going down yet again. Now we can see that June and July were basically the lowest months at 22, 26 here, although the actual average here is different. I'm not 100% sure what this graph is showing us necessarily, but let's just take it as the average. And then when we have a look at what we had like the last couple of days, so Thursday we had 37 as the average, 37,000 obviously, not a billion miles away from where we were, right? About 10,000 more. But I thought we were averaging around 40,000 and that it was going to even off, but no, the last couple of weeks sort of showing a relatively strong decline. I can't really account for that. I'm not sure what's different now to before then. I guess maybe like Christmas as well, so maybe people were off work. I would have expected the line to be relatively consistent. I don't know why we would have got a relatively sharp decline in the last week or so. Either way, that's what's happening with the numbers, right? They're going down. In the last week or two, it seems like they're going down a little bit more than you'd expect, and it looks like we will probably get to the point where we were in the middle of last year. Now, I think I said in the last video of this type that I don't necessarily think that that's a problem. For me, what New World is doing now and what New World has done is solidify itself as an MMO that people will actually come back and check out. If everything was just pure disaster and disaster, then New World would have probably been done for. But I think Brimstone has started to change sentiment. Now, I know a lot of you guys will be angry, you'll be frustrated that you finished all the content, there's nothing left for you to do, but there's probably quite a lot of you are like, well, I'm just going to take a break and I'll come back and I'll play when there's something new. And I think that fits now a lot more people than it did say 6 months ago. For me, that's really the key thing about the play numbers right now. And I've said I think this number is going to go down, I think up until at least summer again. I don't think that the spring roadmap is really going to do that much to bring people back. Yes, the gear set storage system is going to be an absolute godsend. Yes, a new expedition will be fun to try a little bit. The MSQ, I don't really think will do anything for the play numbers. And then the Springtide Bloom event, it really depends on what's involved in that. Like I've said in a couple of videos now, that what if they just introduce farming? Because it's like spring, you're going to go and plant your crops and you're going to be able to farm. That might get people back. Stuff like that is the kind of thing that people will be like, I'll go and try that out. So really there's a bit of a question mark there. However, it's really summer on the far side over there where things will actually start to change. Whilst I'm very excited about Transmog and collectibles, that's all perfectly well and fine, it's really the Sandworm Elite trial that I think will actually get people to come back. They'll be like, hey, New World's getting raids, let's go and give that a go. So it's my personal prediction and feeling that I could see these numbers drop into the July and June maybe numbers, right? You'll have a lot of videos calling that the game's dead or whatever. It might stay a little bit above it because of Fresh actually did bring back people, and maybe some of them will stick around. But I think we are looking at the June, July kind of numbers here. And I think that'll probably happen in March or April. And then as soon as we get the PTR for the raids, I think things will start changing. I'm still on record of thinking that there will be an announcement of an expansion at the end of this year. Well, actually, I think the expansion will be announced at the Summer Games Festival, and I think the expansion will be scheduled in for the end of 2023 or early 2024. And once we get that, interest and hype will be back in New World, but right now it's not. And I think this is sort of like a planned downtime. I think they're working on something big. Well, we know they're working on something big for the end of 2023, but I'm thinking they're working on something really, really big. We'll see if I'm right, I guess. So a bit of a ramble there about playing numbers. How bad will it get? Yeah, I think it's going to get real bad. You're going to see a lot of people complain about the game, point out its failings. You know, I'll be doing some of that. But I think it would be unfair to say that the game is dead. It's not dead. The developers just can't be pumping out the kind of content that they've been doing for the last year. They need to now sort of spread it out. They've told us they're going to do less patches, but bigger patches. And that's okay. We're okay with that, right? As long as they're actually good. And I think they will be. So mark your dates. I think we're going down, 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 probably until about April, right? Maybe May. Let me know what your thoughts are on the play numbers. Are you still playing? Are you just following it along, seeing what's going on? Let me know in the comments below. I will still be making New World videos through thick and thin, and if you want to support that endeavor, do consider giving me a YouTube membership. That sounded weird, but that is what I was trying to say. Otherwise, come and give me a follow over on Twitch. What you should definitely do is have a most beautiful day, like and subscribe. Goodbye. Hey, I did the video a little bit differently with this like fake green screen. Was it alright? Let me know.